It's day 2 of Catholic Engaged Encounters. Let's see what we learn. So they're making us talk about how we communicate with each other. And I think we communicate pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I promised I wouldn't interrupt this weekend. It's not going well.
Never goes well.
I just get excited.
You do. What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
All right, we're a little over halfway of day 2. We get a break. Lauren wanted to take a nap, so she's napping in her bunk. And I think I'm gonna take a nap too. But yeah, we've been talking about stuff like how to make decisions as a couple, how to be financially stable as a couple, and how to handle disagreements as a couple. And honestly, I think these are things that Lauren and I really do well already, but I appreciate the fact that like maybe some of these other couples that are here might not get that already. So that hopefully they're learning and they'll be successful as a couple. But yeah, it's really funny. We got here, Lauren was talking about how I know someone wherever we go, and we run into Bryson, my mom's cousin's son. He's here with his fiance, so we took a picture and I got to send it to my mom. But yeah, not so bad so far. It's a little hot out here outside. It's like 95 degrees. I'm glad it isn't breaking 100 today, but yeah, it's a little toasty. You probably hear all the air conditioners on behind me for all the bunks. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a little nap and jump back into it. Day 2 of Catholic Encounters is all wrapped up. Lauren was pretty tired. I'm tired. And we basically talked all day. So Lauren's already going to bed. Yeah, I think what'll be really good is when we're done tomorrow, we'll take the little handbook they gave us and we could go through like maybe the table of contents. I don't need to show you everything I wrote down. But I know Lauren was like trying to find out like what do people talk about during these things? What is the weekend like? And we've got the table of contents here we could kind of go through. But most of it was, we'd have these topics. There'd be some questions in the workbook, and then we would write our answers individually, and then we would meet up and then talk about our answers together and compare and contrast and see where we are, make sure we're on the same page or get to the same page. Plus, general Catholicism stuff. We did Mass. So it was the Vigil Mass Saturday for tomorrow on Sunday. And everybody's been really great. All the other couples are really, really nice. But that's it for today. I'm very tired. We went from 9 a.m. till what time is it now? Like almost 10 p.m. with a couple breaks in between. So I'm pooped. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Day 3, final day of Catholic Engaged Encounters, and I gotta vacate the room. So I've got all my stuff. Gotta meet up with Lauren, get her stuff, get it all packed up in the car, but then do a little bit more learning before we go home. It's not even 8 a.m. and it's already above 80 degrees. It's a little toasty. It's gonna get up to like 106 today. So we're gonna try to pace ourselves, stay cool, stay hydrated. We did it, we survived Catholic Engaged Encounter Weekend. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, good. Me too. It was fun. We're gonna get some ice cream. There's an ice cream shop.
Down the canyon.
Just down the road just down the hill from the retreat center. And then we'll review what we went over so that if you're looking to be...
So when you're frantically Googling what they're going to make you do,
you'll
can
know.
Find something.
We got you. Know your pills, fentanyl kills. Okay, let's try this again because I started talking and I realized I wasn't recording. This is the Catholic Engaged Encounter Weekend Notebook. It's got like writing prompts, and I just want to talk about go over the topics that we went over. So if you are getting married in the Catholic Church and like, oh, I have to do this like engagement encounter thing, what's going on? Because we couldn't find good info on it when we were planning to go to this class this weekend.
I was really nervous. I'm not Catholic, so I didn't know like what I was getting into. So it's definitely wishing I had an agenda or something at least to like know what to expect a little bit.
Which I think is the biggest gripe of our group who hosted this weekend, rolling in either an email beforehand or rolling in Friday. They didn't really tell us what the agenda was for the week. So we'll also try to break it down what we did on what day. So we arrived Friday. It was between 7 and 7:30, but we got started about 7:30, and we had an introduction. We introduced ourselves, the hosts. There were two couples and a priest that introduced themselves. I think it was handy that both couples originally started like us. One was a cradle Catholic and the other was not Catholic at all, but they agreed to go. And yeah, in the book it says overview of the weekend. We didn't get that. We just jumped right in. And that next section was called Understanding Myself, and it was actually more about like the history of our families, like what our families value and our traditions, so that we could compare and contrast and say what we liked
And what you don't want to keep.
and what we don't.
Do you want to keep?
Yeah. And they also had to do like a little personalities test, but it wasn't what's the popular one?
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs test. It was just a more general personality test, just to see like where we overlap or where we differ in our personalities. And essentially the way most of these sections worked was there was a presentation by the couples and the priest, and then there was some like prompts. It reminded me of like English tests back in school, where we would write our responses individually, and then they would tell us our time's up, and we'd compare and talk about our individual responses.
And he had us read them out loud to each other. That was hard.
Yeah, we would read them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of couples kind of gave up on reading to each other, but we made it all the way through. But there was a lot of writing, so bring a pen or a pencil that's very comfortable in your hand. Otherwise, you might end up with just a loner plastic Bic pen, and there's a lot of writing. The next section was titled, Is Romance Enough? And I think Lauren had, what did the priest say that you liked, Father Steve?
Is romance enough? And he's like, no. You just have to shut up once in a while.
Yeah, this priest, Father Steve was pretty funny. He's a retired priest, and he just, he says what he thinks, I think.
Very funny.
But still very kind, yes. The big idea about Is Romance Enough? It's more that like love between a couple is more of a decision versus like your family, where you're born into your family most of the time. Your parents love you unconditionally, your siblings you love unconditionally, but in a relationship where you're building a family, you have to make that choice of love rather than wake up. Some people wake up and choose violence. What's that meme? That's a meme. The next section was titled, Are We Really Communicating? And it was just good like communication exercises. I feel like Lauren and I already communicate pretty well. So a lot of the stuff that they talked about was stuff that we already do, but I could definitely see how this is beneficial for a younger couple who's still, you've decided to get married, but you still may have like rough patches in your communication, which led to the next topic, which was managing conflict, how to handle arguments, guidelines, asking for forgiveness, and accepting and providing and accepting forgiveness, which again I think could be really helpful, but I think something Lauren and I do pretty well already.
We've had practice.
we've we've been around a little bit. And then there was a topic that I think when Lauren read the topic in the table of contents, she got worried. But it was creating a life-giving marriage. But it's not about having babies. It's about what things do you do in your day-to-day life that give life or joy to your partner. They didn't call it like love languages, but it was very much like when people talk about their love language.
Yeah, I think it was like what things that don't really matter to you matter a lot to your partner and make them really happy. And I was like, oh, he really hates me leaving my shoes everywhere, but I like having a lot of shoes.
I think that brought us to the end of Friday. But we started at 7:30, but we didn't get done until like 11:30. So it was a long evening, especially considering both Lauren and I worked.
We worked full days. I would have taken the day off if I knew how late it was going to go. Or
Yeah.
how much I had to be like present and like thoughtful. And
Yeah, because Lauren and I do stay up till 11:30, but usually that late we're just watching TV or a movie.
And like scrolling.
Yeah, we're not doing analytical writing and
Planning about a future.
are diving deep into our pasts or insecurities or whatever. They woke us up at 7 a.m. the next morning in our bunks. Breakfast was at 8, and then by like 8:45 we were back in the chapel, back in the classroom area, and we started with decisions in marriage, guidelines for life-giving decisions, which I think just is the culmination of the couple topics we talked before, like communication and conflict. It's just like, all right, well, now that you know how to communicate to each other, like, what do you want your future to be like? What are things that are important to you? What are things that you want to focus on?
What are your non-negotiables?
Yeah, which then led to the topic financial fidelity. Handling money is not just about dollars and cents. They asked Lauren and I to kind of what do we prioritize in our like monetary savings and things we want to spend money on, which I think Lauren and I already do well. We already have a budget and stick to it pretty well.
Yeah, we do okay. We've been really lucky, but we're already like living together too, so I feel like we kind of had to have that one down.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We're driving in an area of the Central Valley that is under construction.
No,
we're not driving in the wake-up strip on purpose. It's just the way the road is kind of being diverted for construction. We have to drive over the rumble strip.
Sorry.
So financial fidelity, that was a fun one. Not hard math. Just like, what do you prioritize?
What do you value? Does it match your value?
Yeah. And then the next section was to become one, unity in marriage. And that one was a little churchy, a little theological, but it was also just mostly about how if you're getting married just to be happy, that's not enough. You have to be united and be on the same page, be on the same front, working together as a team through the times that are hard, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows. There's hard days, there's sad days, and you still got to be united on those days. So I still think it was a solid topic.
Yeah, it was good.
But then there was the topic NFP, natural family planning. But we had already done a natural family planning class, so it was a little redundant for us. And we have feelings about it, but we'll share that some other time. Which led into the becoming a family topic, where we talked about they wanted us to make sure we were on the same page in terms of how many children do you want to have? Does your spouse want to have?
Do you not want to have children? What if you can't have children?
Yeah. What if you're unable to have kids? What does your life look like then?
What's the responsible choice?
Yeah, responsibilities of parents, divvying all that up. So that still wasn't too bad, but then it was time for intimacy in marriage. Intimacy is more than sex. But again, I think it was kind of back to that idea of love languagey stuff. What are the ways that your partner feels intimate with you. What are the things that make you feel intimate with your partner that isn't just the physical stuff?
It was cute. Every time the married couple said sex, they were like, sex.
Yeah, but it's like you've been married for decades.
You've been married for 45 years. It's fine. It's cute that you still do it.
Yeah. And then we had our last section for Saturday, and that was forgiveness in marriage, which again, I think it all ties it back into communication and conflict. It's like, okay, so you argued or you did something, you hurt your partner, and how do you ask for forgiveness? How do you give forgiveness? How do you accept forgiveness? And what are kind of like the best ways to do that? And it was again, I think something that Lauren and I have. And then the last section for Saturday was the sacrament of matrimony, which was the kind of like how marriage is a sacrament in the Catholic Church. I think that this was the most like...
I think that was this morning, but it doesn't matter. Yes, it was more like the Church's definition of marriage and how it's more than just a ceremony and it's lifelong. I don't know, it just added some weight or some meat to what getting married is about, which was nice. It was like there was a sense of like community, and everybody, like your community is invested in your marriage and helping you.
Yeah.
And you as a couple giving back to the community. I don't know, it's just very kumbaya, and it was nice.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that was Saturday morning. So the rest of Friday...
No, it was Sunday morning.
Oh.
This morning.
So yeah, that was Sunday morning. So the rest of Saturday was actually a break. About an hour. Lauren and I each took a nap. I know some couples went on walks, although it was very hot. And then after the break, there was Mass. I think it was really nice that Father Steve kind of went step by step through the Mass, because
He did like Mass 101 for the non-Catholics.
yeah, I know what Mass is. I've gone to it all my life, but Lauren gets a little lost sometimes in the tradition.
It's
and
hard. I get embarrassed. Like I don't know what's happening, and then I feel like everyone's looking at me.
Nobody's.
I know,
They're all
but it's
on
in
their
my
own
head. Like I like to do things right, and I always feel out of place at church. So it was nice that he like described all the symbolism, and I still don't know like what are they called when you like talk back? The call outs.
The responses.
The responses, yeah, I still don't know those. And
That's okay.
when to stand and when to sit and when to kneel, and
I got you.
I mean, I can like read the room.
Yeah.
But it was nice to understand a little bit more.
Yeah. So then we wrapped up for the night, had dinner, went to bed, and then we're promptly woken up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And
Not a lot of sleeping.
but yeah, we got started again. And yeah, that's when we talked about the sacrament of matrimony. And then the second to last topic was betrothal. And they let us they made us write love letters to each other.
It was really sweet.
Because, and I jokingly call Lauren my betrothed since we've gotten engaged. But what they explain, betrothal is more of the pledge or the promise of the planning for marriage and what we're going to do, how we're going to prepare. Don't choke on your candy.
I'm not. I'm like cheesing. It's more like beyond planning the wedding, like planning what kind of couple you want to be.
And how we're going to grow together.
And make it happen.
Yeah. And then the last topic was stewardship.
Oh yeah.
And that was just, it was mostly them asking us like, well, how is the church and how is God going to be a part of your marriage? And I think, I volunteer time at the local parish here and there.
Video stuff.
Yeah, helping with video and music stuff. So it's A-okay.
It was like implementing your value of like, you value your community, value charity. I mean, we are very service oriented, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not solely focused on the church. And this mindful of it. Like, yes, community service is good.
Giving back, helping,
Back is good when you're privileged, yes.
Yeah, the community benefits and everything. But then we kind of wrapped it up, and they gave us a candle, a little prayer card, a book to read. I think in the back of this book, there's like other, like, if you want to learn more, check out these books. Suggested resources is what it says.
Yeah.
And
had a lot of resources this weekend.
yeah, so here we are. We're back. We're heading back home, and
Would you recommend it?
especially if we spent so much time talking about communication and skills and how to argue, how to make decisions, how to forgive, and I think any couple could benefit from that. So it's not scary. Was it scary?
It wasn't scary. I'd recommend it, I think.
If you're marrying someone who's Catholic.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like I'm really glad we waited till our 30s to get married because we know a lot of these skills already outside of church.
We've built up our
But
communication.
it is good reinforcement, and I can see why, if you're super young, they want you to go through something like this to get the full spectrum of your experience.
So that's what to expect at the Catholic Engaged Encounter Weekend. I hope you find it a little less scary, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.